Glad you're joining us today for episode 4 on Ready, Set, Renovate. This episode is titled, I'll Make It Myself. And as the title suggests, it's all about overcoming issues with supply chain delays, as well as custom products you just can't seem to find anywhere. If you have the right craftsman, it's not so much of a problem. We have one such craftsman joining us today. His name is Stu McConnell of Resonant Woodworks, as well as Rob Young with Heritage Custom Builders. Let's get to it. I saw an Instagram post, Rob, where you were talking about Stu building custom windows. Right. And I was fascinated by that. I thought custom windows, heck, I thought everybody was waiting in line to get windows, but now we found somebody that can build them for you, right?
Right.
So a great workaround. Tell us a little bit about the project that you guys are working together where these custom windows are being installed.
So this is a project in the northern part of Granville County. It's a mid-century modern on steroids. It's a fantastic house.
It's a really pretty house.
Yes, I saw a picture. There's a lot of windows.
Yeah,
right?
it's
a lot of
crazy.
windows.
It's just full of windows, and they're all all the interior millwork and casework and windows and doors. They were all just custom built on site. There's nothing you can purchase from anybody that would come close to replicating what's already there. But it's a neat project. It's a big project. It's a big remodel.
Now, you say there's nothing you can order that would replicate it. Are you able, Stu, to do these type of windows just about for any project, or are you working primarily on these extraordinarily rare projects like this mid-century modern?
I mean, I would have to say that what we're doing on this one is pretty special. We've definitely built this kind of custom stuff before, but this was like, all right, we have to do it. Let's figure it out.
Yeah.
Make this window happen.
Mostly
it's
doors.
really big.
Historically, we've built a lot of custom hung doors on the interior millwork side of things, but so windows are just a little bit different of an animal.
Are you being challenged by it? I know you've been in this business for years, and so have you met a project like this project? Is it unique, or is it like, yeah, I've done that 100 times?
I think after a certain point, it's that you've done it. Like me and my partner, we say that our saying on our for our businesses, we're smarter than wood. You know,
that means something.
It means something. You got to be smarter than wood.
Yeah.
So.
Well, tell us about this project. What is your timeline, Rob? What do you think? These windows will be ready. Is that where you and Stu part ways, or is he doing more in the project?
So Stu will be involved all the way through the completion of the project. So Stu will come in and handle the doors and windows, along with the cabinet guy that I've got making some interior doors, and Stu will hang them. We'll do the jams and the transoms and everything, and then Stu will come in and install the interior trim.
Okay.
At the end of the project.
Well, I wanted to get a little bit into the design process. What does that look like? Getting a window completely unique. You say you can't go to a window manufacturer. What does getting the right design look like?
So, especially in these remodel projects, it's quite simple because what we're trying to do is duplicate what's already been done. So the hardest part is spending time out there just dissecting and measuring and figuring out how these carpenters, 30 years ago, how they built these things, and the process and the steps they took, the materials.
So the originals were custom made.
All of them.
Oh yeah,
they're all
everything
built out
from the beginning
on the site. So the sheetrock actually runs outside, and the windows are installed on top of that. So it's incredibly unique. I don't understand their thought process doing it, but design-wise, it's quite simple, and it's simple carpentry. It's just people haven't done it.
Yeah, so figuring out the angles and the exact step, on the transoms and the thresholds and everything.
Right.
Are you drawing out diagrams or is
crayons?
It crayons. These guys are advanced.
We use crayons on. So yeah, we get a whiteboard and we just start. I start before we go out there and look at it. I just start just drawing some ideas out of how I think those window jambs and window sills look. And then we kind of go out there and make some adjustments. And, on this particular job, I ordered some 10 quarter by 10 cedar, all rough cut. And we just basically just milled everything down to exactly what we needed in the shop.
I guess after a long time working together, you guys are pretty much mind melded as far as what expectations are, what you're needing, what you can provide.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that helps a lot getting a craftsman product out there.
I have no anxiety cutting Stu loose on a job.
Nice.
It's fantastic.
That's a good place to be. Have that level of trust. I mean, that's when you can really do some crazy projects.
That's right. Crazy being the key word.
Yeah. You got to be crazy.
Both.
Projects are a little crazy.
These windows specifically are very unique in that the original builders of them, like they're huge, first of all. Second of all, like, how windows today have gas filled. So they're 2 layers and it's gas filled on the inside. Well, they did the same thing on these, except it's wood. So they put up a piece of plate glass, filled it, a spacer of wood and another piece of plate glass. But what's crazy is the ones that are there don't have mildew and mold inside of them.
Really? They
Like
stood the
should.
test of time.
It's insane.
The
I mean, it really is.
simplicity of them, it's remarkable that they're still there. I don't even know if they're tempered, but these panes of
I would
glass
say
are
they're not.
7, 8 feet long by 7 or 8 feet tall.
What do you attribute that to? How is that happening?
I don't know, because I've never, in the years I've been messing with them, they always have mold and mildew. Even new ones,
Yeah, so the species of wood, they used a western red cedar. So that,
Western red cedar.
yeah, western red cedar. And so it's a very durable material that's not going to rot. But as far as the building science in it, it's rudimentary. It's incredibly simple. So we're going to kind of incorporate some more modern techniques with insulated glass and low E and have them tinted to match. So
Was the original builder still accessible? Is he around? Do you know who it is?
no, we don't. We know who the architect was. This specific architect designed 2 houses in Greenville that are quite unique.
And he's still in the area? Is it?
No, I think he's long gone by now. So, but it's just an incredible project, and so the clients make all this possible. So Caleb and Sally are remarkable clients, and they value our expertise and our ability to do these things.
Well, that leads me to my next question. What has been their role in this process? Are they given feedback frequently, or are you saying, just let us do it, then come judge the final product? Because obviously they're putting a lot on the line. I mean, it's their house to begin with, and these projects, they're not cheap.
Right.
So what role are they playing in this whole process?
So they're fantastic. They basically hired us to do a job, and they step out of the way and let us do it.
Nice.
So they do.
It's like the ideal client. Right?
Oh yeah, it's great. So and most of our clients are like that. We have a reputation of having an expertise in doing these projects. So people trust us, and that's the way it ought to be.
Absolutely.
I don't need a client telling us how to build a windows.
We always joke, if they're like over obsessive client, we can determine if they're an engineer or an accountant.
Or used to be a carpenter of some
Or there you go, yeah, former carpenter.
Well, oddly enough,
I know better than you do.
Oddly enough, this homeowner has some experience on high millwork cabinetry. I think as a young man, he installed cabinetry and made cabinetry for private jets.
No way.
So he's used to dealing with these very expensive veneers and laminates and things. So he knows what he's looking at. He absolutely knows.
And he's not interfering.
No, not at all.
That is a great mix. I mean, you're surrounded. Can you tap him and just kind of speak the language, and he automatically knows what you're talking about?
You start talking about things, and he'll just nod his head and say, "Go do it."
Man, this client just keeps getting better and better.
Oh, he's fantastic. Very, very unique. So,
that's really good. Stu, have you had any issue with getting parts, supply issues? Have they impacted your custom work, or is everything that you need to make it happen available?
Usually he's already found it You know,
Okay.
if we're
Yeah.
in
So
the-
that's
I've done
your-
all,
that's
I've
your
done
role.
all the work. Yeah, it's all sitting there.
yeah, if been designing of a job or whatever, you know, all that process is part of that building up to before the wood hits the saw, so to speak. you know.
Gotcha.
We go through a pretty extensive pre-construction agreement with our clients where we develop all the drawings and all the details before, you know, I call it boots on the ground, before we even start the work. So, you know, we did have a manufacturer look at building us some windows. And oddly enough, the delivery date was after we finished.
Oh, wow.
And so us building these things, it was really a two-sided coin. There was, hey, listen, we really can't match what's there, and we really want it to look like it was there forever. We don't want it to look like it was a remodel or an afterthought. But then just the necessity of having to have these things completed before they're available.
Kind of led to you getting involved.
Right.
Basically, yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Well, when I think we've done enough stuff before. It was like, well, we can build these without a doubt. So
Yeah.
why wouldn't we?
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you seen kind of a correlation as supply chain issues kind of go up, your business increases, your opportunities increase? Are people saying, heck, let's just get Stu to build it?
I don't know that I could correlate the two, but I know that sentence is spoken.
Yeah, I know. I tell you, if
lot.
we're having to wait a year, I'm remembering your name. I'm
Yes,
coming
like-
to you.
Can he build it? Yeah, probably. All right, let's make him build it.
Let's do that. I mean,
You know, a
that's
lot of this is being equipped to do it. So we've got a great woodworking shop,
Yep.
and it's decked to the nines. If you can't find it in there to build something, I don't know that they make it. So, and then we have, you know, local partners like the tool shed right around the corner. So we just go get whatever we need to do, whatever project it is.
Now you mentioned windows, doors, any other?
Cabinets,
Cabinets.
floating shelves, railings.
Yeah.
We'll even make up interior trim panels, door and window casings, and things like that. Go ahead and make them up. It's much more efficient if you can do it in that shop setting.
Yeah. And you have control over the quality too, right?
Absolutely. I mean,
If it's not right, you know right where to go.
Yeah, literally.
great big assembly table. It's level. It's flat. We got plenty of workspace. We have tools in the shop that you can't bring out to the job site. So there's a huge benefit to having a space like that and producing that kind of work.
Yeah, it seems like the design side of things is moving towards a lot of rough-hewn, old wood looking type stuff, and so it's easier to do those type projects in a situation like what we're talking about versus getting a cabinet shop to try to do it for you. You know,
Well, as a craftsman, you're kind of a dying breed. A younger generation isn't real eager to get into the trades. What are you seeing? Are you seeing some young people come to you say, "Hey, teach me your ways"? Or
no,
no?
and it's actually scary to be honest with you because when I was 8, you know, I was the young group years ago. And as I've gotten older and moved up, and I'm sure he would agree that you don't see the young guys, you know, there aren't.
Hungry to learn.
Yeah.
So Stu falls in a classification of a tradesman, craftsman. And I've always kind of explained it to people that, you know, you have these tradesmen, you have artesian level people who are just off the charts, talented, can carve and do things that most people can't do. And for years, we always kind of existed in this tradesman or craftsman area. And then you have on the bottom tier, you'd have installers. And so most of our workforce is in this bottom segment of installers right now. We're losing the tradesmen and craftsmen because, you know, young people today don't want to spend the time going through an apprenticeship and learning things. They're always just trying to get to the next level.
And what does that timeline look like? Is it a 3-year investment?
It really depends on the individual. You know, I went through that phase rapidly, but I worked really hard at it. I was a young kid with a stump in the yard and went and bought a 50-pound box of nails and just learned how to drive nails. We used hammers back in my day.
What are those?
Right. And And it was always, I put the time and the effort in, and that's really what you're lacking. Everybody today just wants to kind of get things done, and they want to work on all these fantastic projects, and they want to do the kinds of things that Stu can do, but they just don't want to spend the time doing it.
Yeah. Well, Stu, tell us about your path. Who was it that invested in you to get you to where you are, or did you just kind of learn from a number of different teachers?
A number of different, but I think it has a mindset to go with it as well. Like, so I started out on the bottom digging holes like everybody else,
Right.
knocking down plaster with a hammer, and if you don't enjoy that, you'll learn quickly how to not do that anymore.
That's motivation, right? It's like let's get a skill.
Me in particular, it was if you wanted to move up, you had to have your own tools, and that was part of it. And so I looked around and I saw, everybody else that was pushing brooms. Nobody had a tool bag or tool belt. And I looked up and I see the carpenters. They all got tool bags, tool belts. I'm like, well, if I want to go from here to there, that's obviously one of the first things. So one day I went and I took all of my money that I had saved and I bought every best tool that I could find. And I walked in and I was like, I don't want to sweep anymore.
I'm ready to take it to the next level.
They were like,
Yeah.
okay. You're not sweeping anymore, and that was it. And it
So
started.
they saw you make an investment in yourself, and so they start making an investment.
right,
in
and
you.
I don't know that. I don't know how to turn that into kids should be doing that more, but they should be doing that more.
Sure. Yeah.
And my story is similar to his. First 2 weeks on a job, I was laying rosin paper on the floor. The foreman told me to start here, go through the whole house, and when you're finished, come back to this very same point and start again. And I did that for weeks, and I did the exact same thing. I took all my little checks and went down to, back then it was Sears. I don't even think Lowe's and Home Depot was around back then, and bought tools. So I was equipped to do the job. I didn't know how to use them, but I learned.
They were there.
They were
They
there.
were there. Yeah, I learned. So
The carpenters liked it.
yeah.
Hey,
they
boy,
loved
what
it.
you got there?
Yeah.
Some good lessons for any young man who wants to be part of a dying art. Listen to these guys who've been there and done that and honed their skill to a level where they're actually doing quite well for themselves.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
well.
And we speak the same language. Me coming from the carpentry background, I can explain how to do things or how they should be done. And it's super beneficial. So I drive them nuts most of the time, but yeah.
Well, I'm
Fair statement.
You're not going to deny that, right? What great relationship does that not happen in?
Right.
You have to have a little bit of tension.
Yeah.
I'm here with Rob Young, Stu McConnell. Stu, fun fact about you. Rob was actually bragging on you before you came in. Said the man is a rock star. And I thought, he must be very gifted at woodworking. And no, he's a literal rock star.
Legit.
Tell us about that side. Is that a side hustle, or do you just have two main things going here?
So really quickly,
It's a great question. I want to hear that.
For the life of
I
Stu McConnell.
started doing the construction because it afforded me to have a looser schedule to be able to play music. And so the two have just circled each other like a drain.
But it's going up, right? It's not going down.
That's debatable. It depends on which side of the bowl you're on. But no, currently I'm the lead guitar player, or one of the lead guitar players for the band Blackfoot.
There you go. That's
And so
impressive that you were able to. So I guess you've been doing that for a while to get to that
a
level.
long time. Yeah, long time.
So you're obviously gifted with your hands. Is there any crossover between playing a guitar and putting together windows, or is it not really at all?
Absolutely none.
Nothing. Okay, we'll scratch that question.
I think the guitar hates the arthritis that the windows give you. To be honest. Yeah.
So that's pretty.
No, the mindset, creative mindset, I don't know. I guess you could cobble those together.
Stu's always been creative on the jobs. I remember there was a time Stu labeled a bunch of my tools and equipment, and he just didn't write, young on them. It was in calligraphy or something. He's
He
always
went the artistic
he's
route.
Very, very artistic, very creative. Yeah.
Spoken like a true artisan. Huh?
Yeah.
So it all started, as I mentioned at the onset, it all started with an Instagram post getting you guys on the podcast. I'd love to see an update. Could you show the world our 5 million followers? Is that right, Taylor? We're up to 5 million now. 5 million followers. Just kidding. Could you show us an update?
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
tell us where we can find it.
So Instagram or Facebook, I think our Instagram handle is Heritage Custom Builder and Remodeling, I think, or Remodel.
The man knows Instagram.
Yeah, one of my 4 posts on Instagram Will finds.
It's a gem, though.
But no, we keep those posted. You know, our website is we try to keep current with projects and photos. Most of those are on the back end of things with some professional photography. But no, I'm always snapping photos of these guys doing stuff. I just lack the discipline
to get it out there.
put it on Instagram. So
Well, here I am promoting a competitor,
That's
no
right.
less, but a good competitor. Rob and I are first brothers in Christ, and then competitors, more collaborators than competitors. But guys, thanks for being on. I think this has been a engaging, fun conversation, one of the more lively conversations I've had in my illustrious career as a podcaster. I mean, like I said, episode 4, you got a pull there.
fantastic.
Even Joe Rogan started somewhere.
There,
That's right.
That's true. Yeah, he had to get 1 follower first. So, I'm glad you joined us. If you want to find out any more about Heritage, obviously Rob showed you how. If you want to find out about our business, Daniel Builders, you can go to danielbuilders.com. Look forward to talking with you next time.
We're delighted you tuned in for today's episode of Ready, Set, Renovate, your guide design build resource. Are you ready for your home to undergo a transformation? We'd love to talk to you about it. Visit us at danielbuilders.com and tell us about the home renovation you envision. In the meantime, subscribe to Ready, Set, Renovate, and we'll keep the renovation inspiration coming.